I'm Augustine Furber, and it's no secret that I haven't got the slightest idea of how you make either props or costumes for a cyberpunk film.
No deadline, no communication, pure pandemonium.
This whole thing has just been a nightmare.
Yet somehow I'm to deliver not only one, but 2 costumes and props by the middle of March.
How deep are you into this project?
My money, my future, these voluntarily made film props will be the death of me. And death of me and my family.
After years of absolutely no experience of doing these kinds of things, I'm ready to bring my know-how to the game.
What is down there?
Oh my god! Shut it down! This place is a fucking cesspool. This is cyberpunk making off. Hello. Oh, hello. Hi. Hello, hi. How are you doing? First name is? Augustine. Augustine, nice. Let's get to it.
First thing I noticed, there's no workshop here. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, might be a bit of a red flag, but I haven't started to shop yet.
Wait a second, haven't even started to shop? Wow. Please remind me, shooting is how many days away?
1 month, I think.
You think? Wow.
No, it's 1 month.
Right. So, tell me, what's the background here? What's your design vision?
Well,
like many balding men, I nurture a healthy obsession with the making of videos to The Lord of the Rings. And last summer I went on a binge, watching appendices so much it all but dethroned Zodiac. I also finished up Cyberpunk 2077, enjoying its rich storytelling and compelling characters. Once these sources of comfort were exhausted, I did what a freak might do. I actually stepped outside of my algorithm and searched for something I did not know was there beforehand. In search bar caveman speak, me typed Cyberpunk short film making of and found this. The channel is called Slice of Life. These guys from Croatia, these Croatian guys, aided by a truly Jacksonian homespun ingenuity, had made not only this, but more narcotically this. It is genuinely one of the best making-ofs ever made. Having slurped down their content and licked my paws like a hungry Pooh Bear, I realized something. These guys were not tucked away in that mythical era that everyone remembers as the genuinely untroubled early 2000s, but they were my contemporaries. They had done this recently by means accessible to me, proving that it was possible to do this kind of thing with no other labor than patience. Adding to that, YouTube and ChatGPT had advanced to a stage where every tutorial was a mere mouse's throw away. Technology had finally caught up with my laziness. And that was the proverbial last nail in my proverbial ass. That was it. If they could create, so could I. So I drew up a screenplay, basically to give the people I intended to rope into this project a basic understanding of the direction, but also to be able to extract the exact numbers of props and costumes. And those were 1. Hero costume and gun, 2. Villain costume and gun and wound, 3. Motorcycle.
Wow, those are many items.
From the outset, I wanted one costume to be eye-popping. I thought it reasonable if the villain wore an outlandish outfit. Like many real-life lowlifes, he too should be endlessly concerned with his looks. Threatening, not so much because of the tech and gizmos and weaponry, but because of the desperation that garb signals. Moreover, his costume should look somewhat worn, fit the talent comfortably, and be more interesting at the top than at the bottom. Having decided on these parameters, I had to define what eye-popping meant, meaning I had to bask in the images of celebrated bad guys Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, Immortan Joe from Mad Max Fury Road, Adam Smasher from Cyberpunk 2077, and to a lesser extent the Iron Man from Tetsuo the Iron Man, which I watched for the first time only a week ago, rendering it utterly pointless to even mention here. Every one of these guys has some kind of machinery or otherwise cybernetic implant applied to the greater face area, giving off a tentaculous kind of spider maw look. For that reason, and because I didn't care to learn makeup properly, I settled for a mask covering all face. The script called for cultish thug, so a darkly hooded robe seemed best to shroud his bastard frame. Then came the question of his two great big grabby hands. Not wishing to tap into the whole cyber limb imagery of Cyberpunk 2077, which was never a part of what I saw as a vaguely Swedish 1980s, where advancements in construction have for some reason out-hyperspaced advancements in prosthetic limb surgery, a pimped-out pair of gloves seemed a smashing diplomacy. I also found this video walking us through the steps. Finally, his gut, his bio-sewer. Looking for inspiration, I found this video by Wasteland Pirate and took a liking to the idea of my guy having a circuit stomach. You know, just a naked motherboard slapped on front, you know, like with a spaghetti of pipes crawling around on top. Because why not? Why not is a funnier question than why. Having thus sketched out his design in words and pretty little hyperlinks, I then turned my attention to the color palette. It needed to stay simple. This was in line with both his character and, more importantly, my lack of imagination. And his color palette should exclude all but the world's two most evil colors: Ribhouse Red, Angus Black.
Alright, so who's your protagonist?
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about Lone Rider, okay?
He's not your ordinary hero. He's not a knight in shining armor. If anything, he's flawed, has a troubled past, and only acts out of his own convictions, which he, for the benefit of man, has bound up in a tersely prosed manifesto. He only wears leather, so you know he is the honest type. He is tight of lip and bad of mood, speaking only to point out a fault or to express admiration for Kevin Costner. Once he fought in a war. Surprisingly, this rendered him a cynic, hell-bent on ridding the streets of organized varmint, whether or not they come in hoodies or glossy suits from the mayor's office. His blaster makes no difference. Ass is ass, as he likes to say, if only he were capable of rhetoric. Oh, and he rides a bike. Oh yeah. Not one of those fancy-pants EV bikes that you can't dismantle yourself in the solace of an abandoned power dam, but an old-school monster, fueled by dinosaurs, an eyesore hulk of a steel stallion able to withstand a hail of bullets and girlfriend lukewarmishness. Deal with it. He rides that bike, wields that gun, eyes his prize and minds his business. More importantly, he doesn't trust technology, ever since it failed to rescue his parents from a crippling addiction to charity work. You heard me. He's as analog as all outdoors. He mends his own wounds, hunts his own elk, whacks his own meat. Nothing can make him change his ways, the ways of the good old days, when a man could lay claim to any land he wanted, as long as he really needed oil. Lone Rider rides alone.
Lone Rider should look sturdy, slick, and at the same time rugged. The only pieces of actual cyberpunk technology I left in there, I left in his helmet, figuring he would be too helplessly left behind in this gonk-eat-gonk world without a sat-nav. His bike should also sport a light strip on the side that would power up whenever he tugged at the accelerator. This touch was out of character, but it would make for an absolutely Akira light streak.
Alright, so far, costumes. You mentioned something about guns, yes?
Yes, wishing to keep with an industrial Militech aesthetic, I hearted a bunch of pictures on Pinterest, and that gave me a solid direction for the look.
Oh, okay, and on top of that, wound and motorcycle?
Oh, that's taken care of. Yeah, I've got that taken care of.
Oh, do you? Lovely. Sounds like a walk in the park. Why am I here?
Having learned about the design ideas, Augustine now wants to see how this filmmaker is working to make his ambitious dreams come true.
Seriously, YouTube now?
When was this made? Just so dry. Bland. Bland.
Disgusted by the filmmaker's obsession with YouTube, Augustine has had enough.
Honestly, I don't know where to start. You have taken it upon yourself to deliver all these props and costumes, yet you do none of the work. None of it.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Procrastination. You need serious help. Which is why I have reached out to the community and found 2 great film workers that have agreed to come and help you. Step in here, my darlings, please. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi. How are you? Hi. Meet Linda, meet Katja. Linda here has tons of experience working on projects such as Sommartider and Tode med Flyger in the art department, as well as doing the production design on various films. She's agreed to help you find the spare parts, do the motorcycle makeover, but more importantly, do the entire production design. Thank you. Meet Katja. She's your wife. You live together in this apartment. She has extensive experience making clothes and, more importantly, a thorough understanding of the filmmaking process. She's agreed to help you with the work on the costumes. As a couple, you're not alone in this.
With Linda and Katja as heads of departments, it was time to roll up our sleeves. Katja and I decided to split the costume design 50-50. I picked Cultish Thug while she took responsibility for Lone Rider's design. Once she had gotten the measurements from the actor Emil, she set to work, sourcing all the clothes from second-hand stores. Meanwhile, Linda and I were going parts shopping.
When it comes to making Blade Runner or sci-fi weapons on a budget, you can start light with something like a toy gun, a Nerf gun, or maybe even a water gun. But start light.
First thing I did was to rent a car for Linda and me to drive around in, so here's a lot of shots of that. Following a YouTube lead/recommendation, we started our shopping spree at Dollar Store, buying a massive Nerf gun and 2 portable pesticide pumps in order to create that wet down effect. The meat and potatoes of the cyberpunk back alley diet. From Dollar Store we continued to Bauhaus for a roll of decorative vinyl with which to cover parts of the motorcycle, in the use of which Linda had prior experience and upon which I placed my hopes and trust. So far, everything had been going smoothly. I was gaining confidence that we actually might get everything we wanted in one fell day. After lunch, things started to go so wrong. Every make-your-own cyberpunk props tutorial out there seems to agree on this one thing, namely that to surround yourself with postulating mountains of garbage is actually not such a bad idea. Electronic trash does have a place in this world. Mom. Thus and so, our next stop was Bunkeflo Recycling Center. Turns out you can't just walk off with literal pieces of trash. Doesn't matter if you ask the personnel nicely, doesn't matter one iota. Your smile has no currency with the garbage people. What's donated is donated, and is now considered the property of the recycling center. Upon returning to the car, Linda suddenly disappeared. I turned round and saw her approach 2 ladies looking to bin a big cardboard box that they had brought out of the boot. Words changed owners, much like the box changed hands, and she returned with it to the car. It was bursting with electronics.
It's not stealing if it isn't their property yet.
Back home, we fell upon our prey and ravenously harvested its viscera before heading out to Electrocit. The staff was kind enough to supply us with half a baker's apron pockets worth of discounted microchips. The following day I picked up a brand new motorcycle helmet, weirdly enough both cheaper and simpler to get than a second-hand equivalent, as well as order a bunch of EL wire. I unboxed a mask, bought a vest and a sweatshirt, and a bunch of spray cans and rust color paints.
Lights, vibrant, but above all, local.
Soon we had all the ingredients. Now it was time to cook.
They got the materials, they got the tutorials, but more importantly, they got each other. Meaning that if they can only manage to bang out these props and costumes on time, they will be able to do this and finish strong. If not, remains to be seen, because in that case, the ass is going down the toilet like a sack of shit.
The foundation for Lone Rider's costume had arrived in the mail, and with Katja in charge of giving it a cyberpunk touch, Linda and I started to work on the weapons. Emil, the actor playing Lone Rider, was the first guest to arrive for a costume test. Luckily, the costume fit. So far, everything was going well.
I thought we were onto something.
But as hours turned into days, I regrettably fell back into my old ways, and the guns were not leaving the table.
Come here, please. Why have we stopped working? I haven't got all the materials for the villain yet.
So get it. Go out and get it.
Yes.
Come on, 11 days to shoot, and you're already...
With me out shopping for some glue and some hose clamps, Katja pushed on with the villain's gloves.
2 weeks in, and we're already falling behind schedule. The receipts are piling up, and what's worse, fucking YouTube. Let's not get distracted right now.
With the materials in place, the costume was starting to shape up. And with only 8 days to go, the costumes and weapons were finally completed. Still though, one big order remained. Cybering the motorcycle, the punk up, using black strips of vinyl and LED strips and EL wire. But were we able to finish this in time?
Focus. It's a wonderful thing.
That's much better. Anyway, yeah, you see this thing here. This is a microchip holder. Linda designed it using clay because we had no idea whatsoever what to make this kind of microchip holder. Thank you. Good evening and good...